Bam. Happy Saturday. Let's see now. Source camera. Yes. Hello. Which camera am I on? Should be on this one. There we go. Hello. Got on a bit early just to make sure that stuff like this was working. And got to make sure all my audios are turned down. There, that's turned down. Oh, yes. That speakers. Turn these off just to make sure. I see myself on YouTube. Good sign. And eventually I'll be seeing myself on Facebook, but I always have to refresh the page. Let me just do that. And refresh. Boink. I don't see it. Hello. There it is. Alrighty. Looks like we're good all the way around. Let me know. Hi, Kestine. Hi, A Tango Israel. Hi, Stealth Parrot. Let me know how the audio and video are. I can see the captions on Facebook. I guess I have them on, so I guess there's audio happening. I just always like to make sure. That's why I got on a minute early. Like to make sure that we're audible and visible. But it looks, on my end, everything looks good. So just let me know. Give me a clue in the comments, either on Facebook or on YouTube. Loud and clear. Great. Thank you. Thanks, Brian. I'm just going to make this big. Nope. I want it big, not small. Weird. Okay. Big. Big, thank you. And sound off for sure. Gotta make sure of that. Sound off. Sound off. Okay. YouTube sound is off. Good. Okay. I think we're just about ready to rock. Yes. Looking good. Better just check my sound levels. Make sure those are good on my end. Yeehaw. Okay. As usual, you know, I've been doing these streams for years now, since the pandemic started, basically. And like I've complained many a time before, every single time I go to do one, oh yeah, there's that. Oh yeah, there's that. So because I wanted to sing and play this week, I had to set things up a little bit more like a concert setup here. And I couldn't go with a mic on my guitar and a mic on my voice this time because I was getting phase issues. So my voice sounded weird. So I'm going direct with the old guitar, and it should sound good. I got to make sure that I'm set up the right way. I am, and that the guitar has volume. There we are. Good. All right. Looks like everything's working. Hi, Starry Sky. Hi, Aaron Cummings. Hi, Cara2400. Hi, Mikhail Tejera. Great. Nice to see so many people here. Hi, Raitis. Fantastic. All the way across the pond. I forget which country you're living in these days, Raitis. Are you in Latvia, or are you in Sweden, or I've lost track? Norbert Mike, hello. I'm just going to do one last thing. Just move this camera over a little tiny bit this way. Yeah. So I'm a little more centered in the shot. Got a speaker on either side of my head. All right, I'm going to dispense with the headphones because they look goofy. And we should be good. I'm playing in this very humid studio of mine. Of course, I have the humidity cranked all the time. This time of year, we're at 46%, so I'm looking a little moist, but whatever. How's everybody doing? Happy Saturday. It is February the 1st. Holy moly. It's Tariff Day in Canada. Trump has decided to enact a ridiculous tariff system against Canada and Mexico for no good reason. So that's starting today. Isn't that fun? No, it isn't. So, yeah, watch your Canadian dollars is all I can say. I won't say anything else. Okie dokie. So I'm here partly to let you know, again, in case you didn't know, that, now which hand is it? It's this one. Okay, so up here above me to the right of the screen, you can see a little link to my Kickstarter campaign. And I do a weekly stream on my website, which is there over my other shoulder. I think it's this way. Yes, it is. The Don Ross Guitar Academy. I do that every single week that I'm not completely run off my feet on the road, which sometimes happens. But most weeks I'm here and I meet with my group. It's a private Facebook group, and also people sign up to join the Academy, so you don't have to be on Facebook. But I stream on YouTube unlisted every week to my group. And I'm going to start recycling some old ones and putting them up as podcast episodes and stuff like that from a few years ago. But it's really cool. We talk about things to do with guitar and guitar playing and music theory and harmony and gear and musicianship and rhythm and all kinds of stuff. It's basically kind of like a little college music course that I kind of improvisationally give week to week. Hi to Ottawa. Hi, Sean. Hi, PJF in Illinois. Here's the magic moment. Great. Not quite sure I understand that, but nice to see everybody. Grüße aus Deutschland. Grüße aus Canada. Okay, I'm going to start with a song here. This is an arrangement of a tune by a Scottish band called Biffy Clyro, and it's definitely the most depressing song I've ever heard, but but it's not about me, all right? It's called Black Chandelier. I shouldn't laugh, but I know I'm a failure in your eyes. I know it's daft, but I guess I feel it deep inside. It feels like we're ready to crack these days, you and I. When it's just the two of us, only the two of us, I could die. You left my heart like an abandoned car, old and worn, I'm no use at all, but I used to be free. We're gonna separate ourselves tonight. We're always running scared, we're holding knives, but there's a black chandelier, it's casting shadows and light. I'll sit in silence for the rest of my life if you'd like. Dressing our wounds with industrial gloves made of wire. Feel it penetrating our skin, we begin to relax. It's just the two of us and a cute little cup of cyanide. You left my heart like an abandoned car, old and worn, I'm no use at all, but I used to be free. We're gonna separate ourselves tonight. We're always running scared, we're holding knives, but there's a black chandelier, it's casting shadows and light. We're gonna separate ourselves tonight. We're always running scared, we're holding knives, but there's a black chandelier, it's casting shadows and light. I shouldn't laugh, but I know I'm a failure in your eyes. It's such a sad song, but it's a beautiful song. If you're familiar at all with the original, Biffy Clyro is a much louder band than what you just heard. Guitar, bass, drums, lots of loudness, kind of like a pop metal band. They're from Scotland. And I was introduced to that song about 10 years ago by my ex booking agent over in Wales, in England, in Britain rather. Sorry, excuse me, in Wales. And he said, "Don, do you like loud music?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And he says, "Listen to this." And he threw it on, and I was like, "Wow, that's a great song." And when I heard the song, I thought, that sounds like, Simon Neil, the guy who wrote it, was probably sitting on the edge of his bed with an acoustic guitar when he wrote that song. It's about the end of a relationship. Anyway, sad story, but great song. Thank you. Is it sounding okay? Can you hear is the balance between the voice and the guitar okay? Just let me know. Just checking your comments. Yes, Dan Moriarty, you're right. Hi, Daniel Lightfoot over in PEI. How you doing? Right, us here in Latvia. Okay, good to... please, an anti-Trump song. I don't have any on my... I should write one, right? Anyway, trying to get your head around nodes. Nodes? Do you mean... Oh, nodes. You mean you had surgery? Oh, fun. Not. Modes. Okay, good. Modes. Okay, well, we can talk about that. I'm glad you like that song, Dan. Jeanette, hi. Hey, Christophe, nice to see you there. Great, good crowd. Lee, balance is amazing. Good. Okay, I checked it on headphones before I started. It seemed okay, so I'm glad. All right. How about I play an instrumental tune on the other guitar? I have my regular guitar and my baritone set up here. I just have to remember what I have to do. Right, I have to do this. Tried to set up as little gear as I possibly could before getting started, so wouldn't have too many boxes kicking around. All right. So this is my my groovy studio here in Windsor, Nova Scotia, Canada. And for those of you who don't know where that is, it's about 40 minutes by car north and west of Halifax, which is the biggest town in Nova Scotia. It's the biggest town on the east coast of Canada. And I've lived in and around Nova Scotia now for most of the last 15 years. Not consecutively, but mostly. And it's nice to come back to Nova Scotia. It's where my mother is originally from. She's a Mi'kmaq Indigenous person from these parts. She actually grew up around Truro, Nova Scotia. She passed away 20 years ago, but my dad still lives in the Truro area. And he's a Scottish immigrant. I'm actually looking at photos of them right now over in the corner of the studio. It's my dad in his kilt playing the pipes. This is my baritone guitar. So both of these guitars were made by Mark Beneteau, who's a great guitar builder in Ontario, Canada. And here's a tune that a lot of you know already. It's a tune called Tight Trite Night. I can hear you. I can hear you cheering over the internets. Yahoo! So that's the first tune I ever wrote on a baritone guitar. This is, like I said earlier, this is a baritone made by Mark Beneteau. It's a Mark Benetone, and uses a fan fret system like the other one does as well. But this one's quite radical, the fan on this one. It means that the bottom strings can be a lot longer rather, and then they hold low tuning better. On a baritone, that's really important. So a long string tends to be lower sounding, so you don't have to use quite as much tension, you know, on the whole thing. It's pretty cool. But it can be a high tension string because it's so long, and you can tune it lower, below pitch, and it holds its tuning a lot better. It's very cool. I'm going to check your messages here. Glad so many of you enjoyed that. That's wonderful. John Brandy, you're mentioning that a lot of good music comes from the East Coast. Indeed. It's kind of disproportionate to the population, isn't it? Lindsay, coming upon Pleasant Springs. Oh, your friend's father's name was Donald Ross. That's hilarious. They live near Truro, and so do I. That's fantastic. Isn't that wonderful? There's a lot of Rosses in Nova Scotia. There was a lot of Scottish settlement here, of course, in previous centuries. My dad's a recent immigrant. My dad only came over in 1949. So he's the first of his line of Rosses in Canada. But there's a bunch of us since, obviously. But I'm likely not related to that Donald Ross. So cool. Thank you very much, Lindsay. I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. David Robertson, you're watching and listening from out the road in Hansport. That's fantastic. Jonas Marchenko, hi, and Red Deer, yes, it's wonderful. I might play fretless bass in the upcoming vocal album. Oh yeah, almost for sure, yeah, because I play it on pretty much every one of my last many records. I play some fretless bass, at least on one or two of the tunes. If it feels like it needs bass, that's what I go to. I usually go to my fretless jazz bass, the Fender. But these days I have this wonderful acoustic bass guitar that my friend Julie Malia gave me for my birthday/Christmas present, my touring partner from Germany. I also have that crazy, if you watched last week's stream, you can still watch it. It's still on YouTube and stuff, and Facebook. I've also got a crazy thing called a guitarrón. It's a Mexican upright, well, no, it's a Mexican bass guitar, but it sounds like an upright bass. It really does when you put a mic in front of it. Just checking Facebook. Would mean the world to me. See you live. Oh, man. Tapas, what are you? Where do you live? Hello, Jeanette from Stockholm. That's wonderful. So nice. This is what I love about this. It's so nice to be able to be seen by people all over the world. Fantastic. Do I play the bagpipes too? I tried to learn when I was younger. My dad was really hoping I would inherit his bagpipes, but none of the kids really took to it. We all took to other instruments. So his best friend Wendy inherited his pipes because he can no longer play. My father's 96 now, almost 96. Hi in Buffalo to Ashman, and Corey, hi from Greenwood, just down the road. And St. John, New Brunswick, fantastic. Yep, Market Square, I remember playing there. Okay, I'm going to do another vocal tune for you. So just, again, to be shamelessly commercial here, here's my Kickstarter. It's the last day of my Kickstarter campaign. Okay, so it actually wraps up, let's see now, it's 20 after 2 in Atlantic, Canada, and it fizzles out tomorrow morning at 10 something. So we're in the last 20 hours of my Kickstarter campaign. So it fizzles out tomorrow, Sunday, my morning, European afternoon. So please support it if you haven't already. I am fully funded, which is fantastic. Thank you to all of my friends out there, all of my fans who have already supported the Kickstarter. But there's still room, of course, for more support. And, of course, it's all based on a tier system. You're basically investing in the recording, right? So you can start at $12. You got 12 Canadian dollars, which are going to be worth less now that we're being tariffed to death. But for 12 Canadian dollars, you can get an early digital download of the album. And then for various tiers, you get CDs, LPs, T-shirts, all the way up to, there's USB sticks, there's all kinds of stuff, all the way up to, if you want, for the highest tier, you can check it out. I'll even come and do a private house concert. I've done a bunch of those for the last Kickstarter, and they're delightful. They're such a different kind of experience, and they can be really, really fun to do. So I enjoy house concerts. So check it out. Think about it. Just because we hit 100% doesn't mean we can't hit 200%. So here's another arrangement of a song by John Martyn. And if you're not familiar with John Martyn, he was a great Scottish singer-songwriter, and he really had a very strong cult following through the 70s and into the 80s, and he passed away about 10 years ago, I guess. Quite a young age. He didn't take good care of himself, unfortunately, but in his short life, he wrote a lot of amazing songs, and I was a fan from the time I was about 10 years old. And so here's a beautiful song of his. That was the first song of his I ever heard. It's called Head and Heart. There's just no way to say how much I love you. You never make me cry, and that's just fine. I've only got my fear to put above you. You know we all get scared from time to time. Love me with your head and heart. Love me from the place it starts. Love me with your head and heart. Love me like a child. Laying down the ways to say I need you. Scared of looking tall and feeling small. Running through the days I have beside you. Scared of being wrong, and that's it all. Love me with your head and heart. Love me from the place it starts. Love me with your head and heart. Love me like a child. Love me with your head and heart. Love me from the place it starts. Love me with your head and heart. Love me when I'm wild. There's just no way to say the things I'm feeling. No way to tell you all the things I mean. Every day I only feel like stealing. Way to where I know I can be clean. Love me with your head and heart. Love me from the place it starts. Love me with your head and heart. Love me like a child. Yeah, the great John Martyn. Miss hearing his music. But at least we have the recordings. Isn't that great? Lindsay, so synchronistic. Martin Ross is a friend. His father was Donald Ross. Oh, cool. Solid Air. John Martyn. What a great song. What a great album. That was probably the first full album of his I heard. And in fact, there's a tuning I like to use a lot. It's a C minor 11th tuning, which I thought I invented. It's based on this chord voicing. That would be it in B minor 11. So it's a semitone up from that, and I tune my regular guitar to it sometimes for tunes like So Little Time and So Much Time, and for Upright and Locked Position and several other tunes. And so for years I thought I invented it, and then I found out, right, no, somebody pointed out, no, that's Solid Air by John Martyn. And went, right, 1972 or something. So he invented really amazing tunings 50 years ago. It's crazy. I'm going to change guitars and check your messages, and we'll do that. I have to be really careful. I've got these overhead speakers for mixing in Dolby Atmos. And my biggest fear always is putting a headstock of an instrument through one of the cones in the overhead Atom speakers. That would be tragic. All right. I'll check up on Facebook. See what people are saying. Thanks, Nobet. Great. Thank you, guys. Daniel, you still have your pipes from when you were in the Summerside Presbyterian Pipe Band, which eventually became the College of Piping. Oh, Lex Pete taught you to play. Next Lex Pete. I don't know him, but awesome. Good for you. Yeah, man, I'll tell you, if you play the pipes, you get a solid set of lungs, that's for sure. Tapas, you're in India. Yes. Oh, were you at the show in Bangalore? I've actually played in Bangalore a couple of times. In India, I did a big open air show. It's got to be 12 or 15 years ago. And then I went back, was it 2017, I think? Went back and played in Bangalore and Mumbai. What an amazing experience to play in India. I don't know if you've ever been to North America, but it's almost like they're two different planets. The amazing thing is, what I loved about touring in India is that I could travel literally halfway around the world, be in this place where it was 40 degrees Celsius in November, walking around in short trousers, and I get up on stage and everybody got my jokes. It was terrific. All right. Hey, Jeff something, thank you so much. Wonderful. Thank you for the lovely comments, you guys. Christian Robertson, do I play any Scottish tunes? I play a couple of Irish tunes, but they're not ready for today, but no, not right now. I don't really play any Scottish tunes. It's of course an important part of my heritage, but I've been lazy about learning tunes from my heritage. And Jeff something wants to know what the tuning is for three hands. It's from low to high, it's D, A, C, F, C, F. So D, A, C, F, C, F. So it spells a D minor seventh chord. If you know the tuning if you know the piece, Berkeley Springs, my arrangement of it, it's an open F tuning. So three hands, it's the same tuning, but with a D on the bottom. Okay. All right. I have to play a very special request here. One of my diehards on my Don Ross Guitar Academy, this guy here, one of my diehards is a wonderful woman from Germany named Kerstin, and so it's and she's been extremely supportive. She comes to see shows that I do either by myself or with Julie Malia or other collaborators, Callum Graham or whatever, over in Germany, all the time. So I'm always happy to see her out there, and she's been a big supporter on the Kickstarter. So thank you, Kerstin. And it's always nice to see her there pretty much every week on the streams for the Don Ross Guitar Academy. So we'll see how this goes. So this is a song I wrote quite a while ago. The quick story is that a friend of mine, Karen Leslie Hall, back in the 90s, she was organizing this thing that's still going. It's called the Great Canadian Song Along. So the whole idea is that it's just a songwriting event. It's just to encourage the writing of songs. So I took part in it a couple of times. And one of the times, the way that Karen structured it was that there were a list of things that there were suggestions for subjects of songs. So you didn't necessarily have to take them literally, but they were just meant to be suggestions, but you really had to do one of them. So sometimes you had a choice of up to 5 suggestions. And this one particular time, one of the suggestions was any color except blue. And I thought, okay, I'm going to write a song called Any Color But Blue. And so I had my title. I didn't have a song yet. And I thought, okay, that'll be the last line in the chorus. Okay. So those are my parameters. And then I decided to write a song. I had just before that, this kind of hair-raising experience of traveling from Toronto, where I used to live, up to Sudbury, Ontario, which is a mining town about 5 hours north of Toronto. And I was invited. I got the invitation in the summer, so it seemed like a good idea at the time, but it didn't really click in until later. About half an hour later, or maybe 30 seconds after I hung up the phone, that the gig was going to be in January, and January in Sudbury is an experience. So, but it led to this song, and so I put it on an album many years ago called "This Dragon Won't Sleep." When I was signed to Sony. You can get that album on my Bandcamp, by the way. It's not on the streams, but it's on my Bandcamp. The album's called This Dragon Won't Sleep. That has the original version of it. And then I also re-recorded it on this album back in 2009. So this is the last time I did an all-vocal album. Okay, it's an album called Any Color, and I put it out independently. I was working a lot with Candy Rat Records at the time, but because it was vocal, I decided to do it independently. And so it has all kinds of stuff on there. I wrote about, I don't know, maybe a third of the songs, and then the other 2/3 are arrangements. So not unlike my plan for this upcoming vocal album that I am promoting here through my Kickstarter campaign, I plan to do a mixture of original and cover tunes. And I'm in the midst of writing some of the songs right now, so it'll be a lot of fun. So it was about time I put out another vocal album. And I've been really bad about making vocal videos, so this stream is kind of making up for some of that. So this is called Any Color But Blue. This frozen road winds on past nameless towns. A river of black carved through a desert of white. Promises of silver lead me from the hearth. Lifeless side roads lead past laden trees. Breath of ice takes its toll, my chariot. Only an hour gone, still 4 to go. We clamber onto hired wheels, back through the white curtain. No line to guide us, only shadows of steel. Life is the song, and the show must go on and on. Make it come true. The song and the road goes on and on. Paint the song any color but blue.
gift is given, the seed is sown. Now back through darkness to the light of home. Life is the song, and the show must go on and on. Make it come true. Life is the song, and the road goes on and on. Paint the song any color but blue, not blue. That felt really good. It's really interesting doing I've forgotten about this, you know, like I did a lot of these streaming concerts during the pandemic, and I kind of forgot how much fun they are. They're actually a lot of fun. I mean, it's weird that I'm the only one in the room, but it's also cool that I know you're all out there. You know, you're all out there in two-dimensionality, text-based versions of yourself. Any chance I'll work with Bela Fleck in the future? Hey, if he calls me up and wants to work together, sure. I don't know him at all. But you never know. Hi, Susan Fröhlich. I see you're there. Let's see what else people are saying. Sam, first time I saw you play was at Trinity Church in Newmarket. Oh, wow. That was a long time ago. That must have been, what, 25 years ago? At least 20 years ago. Still have your VHS and music booklet that went with it. Also remember fondly visiting the coffee venue in Cannington. Oh, sweet. Yeah, when I lived in a small town in Ontario called Cannington, I owned a cafe for a little while. It's actually, I bought an old bank building and turned it into this Italian cafe. Just about killed me financially, but it was fun to have for a little while. But I had to close it. Corey, I'm glad you like Thin Air so much. Oh, elevation music. Yeah, I could maybe work that in. You never knew I sang. I know, that's my own fault. I've sung on a lot of my albums. Like, for example, I showed you this one. This all-vocal album I did back in 2009 called Any Color. But I also, my last album called Water, I sang a version of that last tune, Any Color. I did it with the string quintet. And it turned out really well. I'm really happy with it. And then before that, well, Bruce Cockburn sang also on my last album, so that doesn't really count. But it wasn't me. But then the previous album, the previous solo album before that, which is called A Million Brazilian Civilians, I did an arrangement of Bruce Cockburn's tune, Mama Just Wants to Barrel House All Night Long. I did an arrangement of Leo Kottke's song called Everybody Lies. And I did an arrangement of that Biffy Clyro tune. As you can see, I'm not much of a songwriter. I don't write a lot of songs with lyrics. So if I do sing, they tend to be arrangements. I tend not to say covers because covers usually implies that it's some well-known song. I usually go for slightly more obscure stuff. So then I can sort of make them my own to a certain extent. So yeah, anyway, that's the scoop behind that. Elevation music, I just have to think of, it's the same tuning as Dracula and Friends, I think. I haven't played it in a little while, so I don't know how this will turn out, but we'll find out. while I'm getting tuned up for that. Oh, This Dragon Won't Sleep is a killer album. Thank you very much. You can get it on my Bandcamp, as I said. All those Sony records you can get on my Bandcamp now. All right, so let me see now. Okay, just see what else you're saying. Oh, thanks, Sunshine Flyer. You like my voice. Thank you. Hey, Castine, nice to play it for you. I'm glad you enjoy it. Evan, you were having the worst day, then you heard me playing, and now it's great. Oh, isn't that sweet? I'm sorry you're having a hard day. I'm glad it got better. Let's see now. Cool. UB McTuberson. I don't know Dion Guitars out of Edmonton. I do not, but I'll have to check them out. Christoph Bleda, you're welcome. If I ever owned or used a Martyn, I won a Martyn. I've never been attracted to them, but what happened was back in 1996 was the second time winning the U.S. National Fingerpick Guitar Championship. And because I won, I got first choice of these 3 guitars that they were giving away as prizes. And I saw the Martyn, and I thought, okay, that's going to be the most valuable one. I did use it on one recording. I think I did use it only on one song on one album. If you listen to my album called Loaded Leather Moonroof, which is available on my Bandcamp, not on the streams, there's a version of Jesse Helm's Night in Havana, this very silly title for a tune. And it's a trio. It's me and Shelley Berger on bass and the late Matthew Sean Fleming on percussion. And I played the Martyn on that. And it actually worked really well. It was a small-bodied Martyn, and it really had that lovely little honk, that really worked in that tune. But I eventually sold it and put the money towards my 7-string guitar. That's what I did. Just checking Facebook while we're here. Facebook. Oh, boy, there's a lot of comments. Let's see now. I wish I could watch you here in Orlando. I've never played in Orlando, Jess. I've only ever played in Miami and Jacksonville and Ocala. Those are the only places in Florida I've played. Great. Aw. Hi, Spencer on PEI. This is great. People are all over the joint. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for for tuning so carefully. I know. I tune because I care. All right. I'll give this a try. Haven't played this in a long time. This is a tune I wrote while playing with an elevator in Germany. I was waiting for a recording session to start, and it was in Neubrandenburg, this town north of Berlin, and the local symphony plays there. I played with the symphony a few times there, but this time I was making a reference recording for a loudspeaker company, and the recording engineer was having trouble with his computer, so I went up into the recording area where I was going to play my tunes, and I started working on this new tune, and in between ideas, I was playing with the elevator that brought the kettle drums and the harp and stuff like that up from the basement up to the stage, and it ended up the lift ended up being flush with the stage. I thought it was really cool, so I'd write some music and then play with the buttons and then write some more music. So that's why the piece is called Elevation Music. Not so bad for the first time in a bunch of years. I did teach it to a student a few weeks ago, but just really quickly, just sort of filling in the blanks for what he didn't know, and just like, oh, hope I remember it. Anyway, it's a lovely little tune. Thank you for suggesting that. Starry Sky, yeah, I did it in DAD GCE today. The recording, I do it a whole tone lower, so C, G, C, F, B flat, D, right? So, but it's easier to get into it from standard tuning. Great, thank you very much. Let's see what else people are saying. You love that tuning, cool. Night in Havana, great. Little Ruin Riff, good. The amount of guitarists that I can hear, Don Ross influences staggering. Oh, that's very sweet. Well, when you've been at it for a long time, you're bound to have, and you don't quit. You're bound to have some kind of influence on somebody. That's great. Hi, Jane and Jeff Thornhill, Catherine, or Camp on My Way Home. Okay, maybe I'll do Catherine towards the end of the set. Michael. I played Michael on the stream a couple weeks ago, and I kind of play it almost every time, so might play something different this time. Just quickly checking. Hi, Jesse in Montreal. Cool. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you're feeling that it improved your drumming to discover my music, Jesse. That's wonderful. Okay, cool. I'm going to sing another song for you because, like I say, I'm trying to promote the singing, and I'm trying to promote my Kickstarter, which is in its last day. So if you haven't backed it already, there's the link, and it's also in the description on YouTube anyway, at least. And it's all over my Facebook, of course, and my Blue Sky and my Instagram. So X is another one of those things I don't do anymore. All right. One of my biggest influences, he played on my last album. He's a wonderful songwriter and guitar player, originally from Ottawa, Ontario, but he's lived in San Francisco for a number of years now, is Bruce Cockburn. And the guy is like almost 80 years old, and he's still out there touring. He's a real inspiration, and he has always been one of my big guitar influences and one of my big sort of songwriting influences. On the few songs I've written, he's been a big influence behind them. So just for fun, I'm going to do a bluesy tune of his called Mama Just Wants to Barrel House All Night Long. Up the road on Easy Street, watching everybody stand around and cheat. Man comes up and says, move along back to the corner where you belong. But Mama just wants to borrow a house all night long. I hear the city singing like some siren choir. Some fool tried to set this town on fire. TV preacher screams, come on along. I feel like Fay Ray face to face with King Kong. But Mama just wants to borrow a house all night long. Mama just wants to borrow a house all night long. Sometimes I've wondered what I am. Feel like I'm living in a hologram. Doesn't seem to matter what's right or wrong. Everybody's grabbing in, coming on strong. But Mama just wants to barrel house all night long. Mama just wants to barrel house all night long. Mama just wants to all night long. Yahoo! Alrighty. Bruce Cockburn. Mama just wants to barrel house all night long. All right, got time for one more. Don't forget the Kickstarter. It's in its last day. Please support it. Please help me make my new record. This is the way you got to do it these days. Artists need investors. That's what you're doing. You're not just giving me money. You're investing. You're going to help the music be a reality, and you get something in return. It's awesome. And yeah, what's coming up? I'm heading over to Europe in a couple of weeks, and the first gig is I'm playing at the Gingen Guitar Festival, Jule Milischke, or Julie Malia as she's now known. It's the 7th edition of her festival in southern Germany, so she's not far from Stuttgart there. So if you get a chance, you're in the area, please come. And doing several other shows in Germany on that trip with Julie, and then then we're coming back here. We're doing a bunch of shows in Canada. So end of March, March 29th in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, very close to where I live. We're going to be at the Al Whittle Theatre, and tickets are on sale. You can find them online at showpass.com. And on that trip, we're also playing in Montreal at the Sala Rosa on April the 2nd on Saint Laurent. And we're also playing, it looks like we're playing in Shawinigan, Quebec, a day or two later, near Trois-Rivières. And then we're coming back and doing a few more shows in Nova Scotia. We're playing in Halifax. We're playing in Lunenburg. I know I'm forgetting something. We're doing a house concert in Dartmouth. We're playing Halifax, Lunenburg, the Wolfville show, Dartmouth. I know I'm forgetting something. I think I have them all on my website. Also, if you go to donrossandjuliemalia.com, that's our duet website. Everything that's coming up is for sure updated there. I spent hours doing it the other day. Burlington, Vermont, Aaron. Wouldn't that be fun? It's not so far from Montreal. Yeah. If you get a chance, come to the show on April 2nd in Montreal. Time to change my name to Don Blues, especially with this shirt on. Thanks, Lindsay. Okay, cool. I'm going to play one more tune. Somebody wanted to hear Catherine. I'm going to do sort of the Reader's Digest condensed version of it here. It's a tune I dedicated to my late aunt, Catherine. And it's in the Dadgad tuning, in case you're interested. I've only written a couple of things in Dadgad. And I realized I wrote this tune 39 years ago. 39 years ago. Oh, there's a Kickstarter notification. Yay, somebody backed my Kickstarter. Thank you, whoever that was. I have multiple screens set up so I can see everything that's happening on the internet all at once. Anyway, thank you for being here. Please back the Kickstarter. Please come to a show. Please check out the Don Ross Guitar Academy as well if you get a chance. Check out my website, donrossonline.com. Whole lot of info there, all right? And the new record, hopefully all finished and ready to be released sometime either in the spring or early summer. Okay? Talk soon. the Marigold Center in Truro. That's the gig I forgot. That's on April 11th, I think. Yeah, 11th in Truro, 12th in Lunenburg, 13th in Halifax, 14th in Dartmouth. That's it. Alrighty. Yeah, thank you so much. Also, those of you watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And if you liked what you saw, like it as well, and hit the bell and do all those things that everybody's always bugging you to do on YouTube. I'll never ask people to do that, but please do it. It would really help. And Kickstarter, Don Ross Guitar Academy, donrossonline.com. Come to a live show, doing a lot of stuff in Germany coming up, a bunch of stuff on the east coast of Canada and Quebec in March and April. So, and then a lot of backing and forthing between here and Europe. Oh, I'm going to China for the first time in 7 or 8 years. Going there in August. So that's happening. So, big year. All right. Look forward to seeing you all somewhere down the road. Thank you for your lovely comments. It's really been nice to see so many of you enjoying the music and saying such lovely things. It really makes my day. Thank you. Makes my week. Makes my month. I was the first of the you're the first fingerstyle guitarist I came across 18 years ago. This is Trey. I've loved and followed ever since. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the music and that you've even learned some of the tunes. That rocks. And thank you, Starry Sky, for being here. All right, everybody. See you next time. Okay, be well. Now I got to figure out where my software is to turn this off while I'm poking around here. Okay, here we go. Thanks again. See you next time.